John Cena. He was the face of WWE for well over a decade and remained a main event player for a majority of his active in-ring career. However, there was an interesting phase in his career that was established, and it really set his status as a WWE veteran, but also one that could showcase new, young, up-and-coming WWE superstars. Yes, we're talking about John Cena's United States Open Challenge. Let's get into it. This is Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Kevin. Let us know what you think of this period of John Cena's career in the comments below. Before we talk about how it all started, let's get into how Cena, who was a super big star at the time, became the United States champion in the first place, a mid-card championship which felt out of the realm of what he was doing. Following the 2015 Royal Rumble, Cena started to feud with the then United States champion Rusev, who was undefeated at the time. The Bulgarian Brute also defeated Cena at the Fastlane Premium event and was riding high in his success. But then Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect did not give up and challenged Rusev for the championship at WrestleMania 31, a big stage, an interesting one for Cena to challenge for a title that oddly had been away from him for years. It was only something he was really associated with in the early years of his career. This was the place where Cena finally won the United States Championship after 10 years. He had held the championship before in his career in 2004, but at the time, he was really a rookie trying just to make a name for himself. This was a completely different circumstance. But now he was certified as a main event star and had him holding the US title, instantly making it feel more interesting. Where were they going with this? Even though Rusev had been a monster champion during his tumultuous reign, it still carried the air of a lower card championship, or something that would really just be a championship you did before you went up to the Cena level where he was around the world title all the time. In the following episode of Monday Night Raw, Cena introduced the United States Open Challenge. The idea was simple. Each week on Raw, Cena would defend his title against any wrestler willing to step up and challenge him for the title. How idealistic, how very John Cena. And his first opponent was Dean Ambrose. Despite the two meeting in the ring a few times before, the post-Mania audience was ecstatic about what ended up being one of the best WWE television matches in quite some time. The match was exciting, and Ambrose pushed Cena to his limits, setting the tone for this high-caliber match series that would follow. It wasn't just about someone in a new scenario with Cena, but it was about Cena wrestling in new styles and in an exciting way. Cena wanted to prove himself as a fighting champion. He had done this before, but this was different. He was showcasing a unique, different, deeper aspect of his wrestling ability. He faced a diverse array of opponents, from rising stars to established veterans, each eager to prove themselves against one of the biggest names in WWE. This open challenge not only showcased Cena's resilience, but also provided a platform for other talents to shine. Additionally, Cena also successfully defended the United States title against Rusev in a rematch at the Extreme Rules event in a Russian chain match, and at Payback in an I Quit match. In the next few weeks, his US Open Challenge was answered by Stardust, Bad News Barrett, Kane, and he had great bouts with each of them. Then, on the May 4th episode of Monday Night Raw, the show took place in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The anticipation was high when everyone wondered who would step up and answer Cena's Open Challenge. Cena was waiting in the ring, and then suddenly, WWE Hall of Famer and Canadian legend in Canada, Bret Hart, he hit the ring and came out, and the Hitman was left in shock. However, Bret Hart wasn't there to compete. He was there to introduce Montreal's own Sami Zayn, who was then part of NXT, which was blowing up at the time. The crowd erupted in cheers for their own countryman in Zayn and made his main roster debut into something highly memorable, creating a surreal environment as he prepared and entered the ring to take on John Cena in his first match on the main roster. What a scenario, right? What an environment. In his excitement, though, Zayn dislocated his shoulder while engaging in the audience during his entrance. Reflecting on the incident during an episode of the New Day Feel the Power podcast, Zayn discussed the unfortunate injury, and he said, "I didn't really know what happened at the time because it happened so fast. I think it popped out and popped right in right away, so quick that there was almost some denial." Despite the injury, Zayn gave a gutsy performance and ended up wrestling for over 10 minutes with a dislocated shoulder against Cena. Although he lost the match, he earned a standing ovation from his hometown crowd. He entered that match like a big superstar and left like a made one. It was the first time that people truly began to understand the significance of what Cena was doing with the US Open Challenge concept and providing opportunities for talents to get elevated. And how could elevating emerging superstars create unforgettable moments and also keep you on your toes as to who was going to get that opportunity next? And the next was Neville, another NXT standout who showcased his high-flying abilities during his match with Cena and further cemented the Open Challenge's reputation for consistent over-the-top technical spectacles. Yes, John Cena, a technical wrestler? Yeah, he only has 5 moves, crowd can shut up. The next week on Raw on May 18th, to the surprise of everyone, the NXT champion Kevin Owens would answer the challenge. But instead of going for Cena's US title, Owens got involved in a promo battle with Cena, and he declared that he didn't need to accept the Open Challenge as he already had the NXT Championship. He also declared that they would fight eventually, but it would be on his terms. Owens then delivered a quick gut kick to Cena, followed by a devastating pop-up powerbomb. Standing tall over a lifeless John Cena with his NXT championship held high, Owens made a powerful statement, especially as someone who was within the WWE ranks, but felt like an outsider on the main roster. It was a moment that signaled great things were in store for the prize fighter. Very few can claim that they laid out Cena in their television debut in front of many people, and Owens is one of the select few who can boast that achievement. A match between the two was announced for the Elimination Chamber event, but it wasn't for the United States Championship. In a shocking turn of events, Owens defeated Cena in the middle of the ring. No shenanigans, no outside interference. He beat John Cena clean. The victory was monumental. Imagine all of the Cena Sucks crowd reacting to that. Yeah, think about that, as it was an extremely rare thing for a debuting wrestler to defeat a top star like Cena in their first major match. You might argue that this should have been for the United States Championship, but it was a topic for maybe another video. Owens was now one of the hottest stars in WWE right out of the gate. A few weeks later, he lost his NXT title to Finn Balor and was officially on the main roster. Owens would continue to feud with Cena and face the franchise player at the Money in the Bank event, and this time it was for the US title, and many fans believed this would be the moment that KO would capture it from Cena. However, the match concluded with Cena emerging victorious, evening the score. Despite the loss, Owens wasn't finished. He attacked Cena after the match, delivering a vicious pop-up powerbomb on the ring apron, leaving a lasting impression. Now the rivalry was personal, but in the meantime, Cena continued his US Open Challenge, and Cesaro, the Swiss cyborg, answered the challenge, and the two went back-to-back weeks with great matches. For many years, Cesaro was said to be one of WWE's most underrated athletic performers, who could be given an opportunity, and now was the time to showcase his talents. In his first match on July 6th, the Swiss Superman displayed his remarkable power, deadlifting Cena into a suplex from the ring apron. That's full body strength. There's very few people that could pull that off. Both competitors exchanged near falls, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. The match was filled with high-impact moves and dramatic, breathtaking moments. The match ended in a disqualification when Owens interfered, spoiling it all, attacking both Cena and Cesaro. Despite the finish, many believe that this was one of the best matches of Cena's career, and one that once again made someone else in the US Open Challenge. I will be a little bit biased. I saw this live, and I kind of agree with that sentiment. As the match finished in a DQ, Cesaro once again stepped up against Cena's Open Challenge, and this match was just as good as the first one. It was a marathon lasting nearly 30 minutes, demonstrating both men's stamina and resilience. Cena eventually secured the victory with an attitude adjustment from the second rope, but not before Cesaro had pushed him to his limit yet again. Although he didn't win the US title, the matches with Cena elevated Cesaro's status within WWE. See where this is going? Following this, fans began to rally behind him, recognizing his talent and just unrelenting work ethic. The momentum that Cesaro gained from these matches carried forward, leading to more significant opportunities and a stronger position within WWE. Who says a wrestler cannot be elevated in defeat? Yeah, those people are not really paying attention. They're just saying someone got buried because they lost a big match. On the other hand, Kevin Owens faced Cena for the third time at the Battleground event. This was the final chapter in their rivalry. In this high-stakes, everything-on-the-line match, Cena and Owens delivered yet another thriller. Cena ultimately won the match, but he made Owens tap out. Ooh, yes, the personal one, which pissed off a lot of fans. Oh, how could you do that to Owens? He's our guy. He'd already made so many people in this angle, and Owens was still going to be Kevin Owens no matter what. Many of these same jaded fans claim that this was the perfect time to put the title around Owens and establish him as the superstar that WWE needed, but for some reason WWE thought it was better to keep it with Cena for a little bit longer, and the loss didn't hurt Owens in the long run. Look at what he achieved after that, winning the IC title, going on to the Universal Championship in the following year. After this match, Cena set his sights on WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. It was time for the franchise player, the face of the place, to return to the main event title scene once again. But both Cena and Rollins had won the respective championships at WrestleMania 31, and while Cena had established himself as a dominant, truly fighting champion, Rollins was viewed as a weaker chicken shiz champion, cowering away from his opponents, using underhanded tactics, and, being a heel to keep the strap around his waist. It made sense to book the feud between the two, and a unique scenario because on the July 27th, 2015 episode of Raw, Cena defended his US Championship against Rollins. During the match, he suffered a broken nose at the hands of Rollins' knee. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, which ultimately required surgery, but Cena continued the match and went on to defeat Rollins. Yeah, he was still Super Cena. The sight of Cena's bloody, swollen face became an iconic visual, symbolizing his true grit and toughness inside the ring. Fans who previously were critical of Cena's perceived Superman persona were beginning to understand and appreciate him in a completely different way, adding layers of authenticity to his character for that crowd that simply was always against him, but now was starting to see that maybe they were wrong all along. WWE capitalized on the incident, incorporating it into an ongoing storyline, and it became an important point for his feud with Rollins. A title-for-title match was announced for SummerSlam 2015, where both Cena's US title and Rollins' WWE World Heavyweight title would be on the line, making it an all-stakes end to the match. At SummerSlam, they faced off in a thrilling encounter. The match was filled with high drama, near falls, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. However, the way the match concluded disappointed a lot of people on both the casual and die-hard aisles of wrestling. The match ended in controversy when former Daily Show comedy host John Stewart, acting as special guest host of SummerSlam, interfered and hit Cena with a steel chair, allowing Rollins to capitalize and secure the victory. Rollins walked away with both the titles, and a lot of people just asking, what? Now it made sense why WWE didn't have Owens beat Cena for the US title. They wanted to reserve the accomplishment for Rollins. He wasn't seen as a strong world champion, so holding both the WWE and US title gave him some different credibility. He continued to be a real cheating champion, and adding another title around his waist allowed him to be even more despised. That's what you need a villain to be. They aren't supposed to be loved. In response, Cena delivered an attitude adjustment to the Comedy Central host, and then turned his attention back to Rollins, determined to reclaim his US title. And at Night of Champions, he got his title back after defeating Rollins, who put in double duty and also defended the WWE Championship against Sting that night. Following this, he resumed his open challenge for the title on Raw and faced stars like Xavier Woods, Big E, Dolph Ziggler. The success of Cena's US Open challenge seemed as though everything was building up to a big moment when Cena would drop the championship to someone in the mid-card who needed that strong, lasting push. He had already put over Owens and Rollins in different ways, but everyone wanted to see who could be made next by taking the title from Cena. Cena announced an open challenge at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and to the surprise of everyone, Zeb Coulter. Yeah, you may know him as Dutch Mantel, and you can check him out over on the Sportskeeda Wrestling WrestleBinge YouTube channel. He had previously managed Jack Swagger, and he came out and introduced his new wrestler he was managing, the returning Alberto Del Rio, as the challenger. Del Rio had been absent from WWE for over a year, making his return a surprising moment. The crowd was startled by the surprise. That's the idea, yeah. And even more when Del Rio defeated Cena in just 7 minutes to win the US title. This turned out to be an odd decision in retrospect, as Del Rio did not do much with the title. Lost to Kalisto just a few months later. It just didn't feel like it did when Cena had it. The US title, this specific one that Cena had, never got the same respect it had when Cena had it. It just felt like a drop-off. Cena decided to take some time off and pursue his other ventures, making movies and being in commercials. And although you might argue that the end of Cena's US title reign was a bit underwhelming, this run was still remarkable overall, providing some of the best matches and moments of his completely historic career. After the US Open Challenge, that all changed. Those same jaded fans began to cheer him more, recognizing and appreciating his undying work ethic, his dedication to improving WWE overall, no matter how broad that statement may be. This period stands as a testament to Cena's ability to adapt and thrive in an ever-evolving world of professional wrestling, especially at the highest level in that genre that is WWE. Many wrestlers have attempted to replicate Cena's success with their own open challenges, which itself, the open challenge, was something that's been done in wrestling. But did everyone ever do it the way John Cena did it? I don't think so. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.